We kindly requested all attendees to turn on your cameras and use the virtual backgrounds. It can be downloaded in the chat section. And a warm welcome to our esteemed faculty members who have attended.
Ditulis prodi.
Welcome to those who have just joined. If you haven't renamed yourself yet, please do so according to the format. First, for Prodi participant is Prodi K3 underscore year underscore name. And for peminatan participant is Oshforum underscore year underscore name. And we kindly requested all attendees to turn on your cameras and use the virtual background. It can be downloaded in the chat section. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greetings of goodwill and peace be upon us all. To the Honorable, the Dean of Faculty of Public Health, Dr. Budiono, Bachelor of Public Health, Master of Public Health, Head of Department of Occupational Safety and Health Study Program, Ibu Ida Wahyuni, Bachelor of Public Health, Master of Public Health, our esteemed speaker, Association Professor Dr. Rosna Ismail, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and Ibu Cita Fitria Putri, Master of Public Health, as our moderator for today's guest lecture. Good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and dear participants. I'm Giovanni Ladania, and it is a wonderful and precious chance for me to be your Master of Ceremony in this beautiful morning to our guest lecture on incident investigation at work. Let us begin this event with a prayer according to our respective faith and beliefs. Prayer begins. Prayer ends. Before proceed into the next agenda, let's watch the safety induction video from students of Occupational Safety and Health, Diponegoro University as a guide for the health and safety of all attendees. To the committee member in charge, please proceed.
Safety Induction. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are the students of the Occupational Safety and Health Program at the Faculty of Public Health, Diponegoro University, serving as the Occupational Safety, Health and Environment team. Before we start the activity, and in accordance with the procedures and standards of occupational safety and health for online activities, please pay attention to the following procedures and compliance requirements. First, position yourself in a proper sitting posture. Do some stretching exercises to prevent musculoskeletal disorders. Adjust the visibility and brightness of your screen. Second, be aware of electrical hazards, such as overloading electrical outlets. Ensure your area is safe from other potential hazards. Third, ensure a stable internet connection, camera, and microphone during the online meeting. The risk and hazard that may occur include fatigue, fire, and earthquakes. In the event of an emergency, keep calm and do not panic. If the situation is safe, please proceed to the nearest open space around you by lowering your head and body to avoid smoke and debris. If you need assistance, please directly contact the Public Service Center nearest to you or call emergency services at 112. Thank you for your attention. We wish you an enjoyable event. Remember to prioritize your health and safety. Kita siap, kita bisa, K3 juara.
Okay, next let us listen to the Indonesian National Anthem, Diponegoro University Anthem, and the Faculty of Public Health Anthem. Attendees are kindly requested to turn on their cameras and sit properly. We're sorry because there's a technical problem, so the song cannot hear properly. So we will next to the agenda, we'll hear a welcoming speech from Head of Department of Occupational Safety and Health Study Program, Ibu Ida Wahyuni, Bachelor of Public Health, Master of Public Health, and to Ibu Ida, the screen and time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity, Giovanni. The Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Public Health, Diponegoro University, Bapak Dr. Budiono, the Honorable, our speaker, Ibu Associate Professor Dr. Rosna Ismail for University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Welcome, Ibu Dr. Rosna Ismail. Thank you for agreeing to be a speaker for this guest lecture. The Honorable lecturers, my dear fellow students and all participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It is an honor for us that Dr. Rosna Ismail has been willing to share her knowledge, which is very important and interesting for us, about incident investigation at work. Regarding occupational safety and health, we really need this knowledge not only to understand how to investigate workplace accidents, but most importantly, how to prevent accidents from occurring. Hopefully, we will not only learn this knowledge, but also be able to apply it in the workplace. Perhaps it can be applied when carrying out industrial internship. And to Dian and his staff, thank you for your facilitation. And to Ibu Cita and our committee members, thank you for your excellent preparation for this event. Finally, we wish you a happy guest lecture and may it be beneficial for us all. Amin. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to MC, please.
Thank you, Ibu Ida, for the welcoming speech. Now we will hear the welcoming speech from the Dean of Faculty of Public Health, Dr. Budiono, Bachelor of Public Health and Master of Public Health. To Dr. Budiono, the time is yours.
Thank you, Mbak Giovanni. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear Associate Professor Dr. Rosna Ismail from Department of Public Health Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, State Kebangsaan Malaysia. Ibu Ida Wahyuni, MPH, Chair of Department of Occupational Safety and Health, Faculty of Public Health Diponegoro, and moderator Mbak Cita. Thank you very much for joining this lecture. And our colleague Jones, all our participants, undergraduate students, and also master program of occupational safety health. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alamin. This day we have a guest lecture program with the speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Rosna Ismail from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and the theme of this lecture is incident investigation at work. So this topic I think is very important. And what is the meaning of the incident? The incident at work, especially, is I think unplanned event. So we not designed before, and suddenly maybe we get accident, for example, and resulted injury, illness, or damage of our property, for example. And so incident at work could be accident itself, and also near miss event that could have resulted in injury or damage. And I think often due to chance or possibility. This should reported, I think, this should reported to prevent more serious accident later. And also, I think incident could be other events, include security breach, for example, health and safety concern, and maybe behavior misconduct. Why the incident at work must be investigated? I think we have the regulation, so we have comply with the regulation. For example, law number 1, 1970, concerning occupational safety requires companies to investigate and report work accidents. And besides that, incident at work must be investigated to prevent future occurrences and also improve workplace safety and comply with legal requirement. And finally, I think reduce cost and increase the productivity. Investigation identify the root cause. I think not just to what we call assign blame to others, but to learn from mistakes and implement corrective action so we can improve the program or our productivity at work. Which can include improving safety measure, for example, training and also procedure can improve too. This proactive approach ultimately protect employees and I think also program or business itself. What is the incident investigation? Associate Professor Rusnah Ismail will explain more detail, I think. Incident investigation is the systemic process. I think this is the process of analyzing an unplanned event, like I mentioned before, such as accident or near miss, and then to determine the root cause and contributing factor related to this incident or accident. The goal is not to assign blame, like I mentioned before, but to identify how implement corrective action. I think this process also improve gathering fact or document and documenting the scheme and examining the chain of event to learn from incident and improve overall safety. And then who will investigate, where it will investigate, when it will investigate, by what methods will the incident be investigated. Associate Professor Dr. Rosnah Ismail from Department of Public Health Medicine, Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Bangsa Malaysia. She is an expert and I think has excellent knowledge and experience in the field of occupational safety and health and its application in incident investigation and work. So she will explain more detail and more briefly, and she briefly explained this in more detail. I hope you all pay attention to and are active in discussing this because it will lead you to a different perspective in accordance occupational safety and health. Enjoy the lecture and thank you very much. With your permission and of course Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, with the Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, this event I officially open. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the Dean of Faculty of Public Health, Dr. Budiono. Next, we will have a virtual group photo session. We kindly request all attendees to turn on your cameras and position yourself. To the committee member in charge, please proceed. First pose is formal. In my count, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for the next pose, the second pose is zero accident. The second pose is zero accident. In my count, 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you, everyone. Now we'll move to the main event of today, the guest lecture on incident investigation at work. Please welcome our moderator, Ibu Chita Fitria Putri, Master of Public Health.
Excuse me,
Hello,
Giovanni.
Ibu.
I will greet to Dr. Rose. Dr. Rose, thank you very much for joining this lecture, and hopefully you will give some information related to the incident investigation to our students especially, and of course also to our lecturers. Thank you very much, and sorry I cannot accompany you until finish because I have some program, and I will move to other. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Dr. Rose.
Thank you, Pak Dekan.
Matur nuwun Pak Dekan. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay, now we'll move to the main event of the day, the guest lecture on incident investigation at work. Please welcome our moderator, Ibu Chita Fitria Putri, Master of Public Health. Hello, Ibu Chita.
Hello, Gio.
How are you, Ibu? Are you ready to moderate today's discussion?
I'm so good and I'm so excited to start this guest lecture.
All right, because Ibu Chita is ready, Ibu Chita, the time and screen is all yours.
Okay, thank you, Master of Ceremony. Is my voice audible? Is it clear? Mas okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Ibu.
Thank you, Gio. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable the Dean of Faculty of Public Health, Universitas Diponegoro, Dr. Budiono SKMMkes, the Head of Undergraduate Program of Occupational Safety and Health, Professor Dr. Yuliani Stianingsih, SKMMkes, the Head of Department of Occupational Safety and Health, Ibu Ida Wahyuni, SKMMkes, and the distinguished speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Rosna Ismail from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Welcome to today's guest lecture organized by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, Faculty of Public Health, Universitas Diponegoro. My name is Chita Fitria Putri. I'm a lecturer at the Occupational Safety and Health Study Program, and it is my pleasure to serve as the moderator for this session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for today's lecture, we will focus on the topic incident investigation at work. Today's lecture will focus on a very important aspect of occupational safety and health, and we know that incident investigation plays a crucial role in understanding why workplace accidents happen, identifying the root causes, and preventing similar events from occurring in the future. Through this session, we will learn how to conduct a systematic investigation, collect relevant evidence, analyze contributing factors, and make effective recommendations for the prevention. And we are very fortunate to have Dr. Rosna Ismail, a public health medicine specialist with extensive experience in occupational health, to share her expertise with us today. And now, allow me to briefly introduce Dr. Rosna Ismail. To the committee, please. Okay. On the screen, you can see the short version of curriculum vitae. Actually, there is a very, very long CV, but I cannot read all of them, and now I will make a summary. Dr. Rosnah Ismail is a public health medicine specialist with a specific expertise in occupational health. She is currently serving at the Department of Community Health Faculty of Medicine, University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Dr. Rosnah completed her Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery at the University Malaya in 1999. She then obtained her postgraduate diploma in occupational health in 2007, followed by a Master of Public Health in 2010, and later earned her Doctor of Public Health from University Kebangsaan Malaysia in 2014. With more than 17 years of academic supervision experience, Dr. Rosnah has been actively involved in teaching, research, and also community service. Her academic contributions include 19 doctoral and 36 master's student supervised, 17 book chapters, and a remarkable record of scholarly impact with 789 citations and a Scopus Index of 13. Beyond academia, Dr. Rosnah has also served as a shadow expert for various national agencies such as the Fire and Rescue Department of Malaysia, the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, and the National Disaster Management Agency. Wow, her professional dedication focuses on improving workers' health, well-being, and fitness, as well as on developing and validating occupational health skills. Okay, without further ado, let me greet Dr. Rosnah. Hello, doctor. Good morning.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's so lovely to see you again. We hope you are doing well. Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. We are delighted to inform you, doctor, that today's session has attracted almost 300 participants. And the audience, consists of our students from the undergraduate program, from first semester, third, and also fifth, as well as from the doctoral program of public health. So, well, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Rosnah Ismail to deliver her presentation on incident investigation and work. Dr. Rosnah, the screen is yours.
Okay. Thank you, moderator, for introducing me. You have put nice words for me, but I am not that great. I just common human being that I would like to share something with you all in regards to incident investigation at work. Can I have a screen? Okay. Okay, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, it's very clear, doctor.
So, okay, what do you see right now? Is it presenter view or slide view?
Right now it's since not in the slideshow.
Just not in the slideshow, eh?
Yeah.
So now, is it a slideshow?
Yes, it's already the slideshow.
Okay.
We can see it clearly, doctor.
Okay, tak apalah. Okay. Okay, okay, good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to share with you about incident investigation at work. I'm using this Mount Rinjani and Juliana Marin's case study to understand further about this topic. Why I choose Mount Rinjani? It is because we can see that for the past few months in this year, we see many tragedies happen among hikers who choose Mount Rinjani as their recreational activities. Yes, I can say that Mount Rinjani is a very beautiful mountain from views online. I didn't go there for now, I went to Everest Base Camp, Madi Himal, and also Gunung Kinabalu in Malaysia. That is the highest mountain, more than 4,000. But my next aim is Mount Rinjani. But after looking, after assessing the mount trails condition, I would like to consider again, because I know the view is priceless, but there is a challenges among hikers. So I would like to use this topic, incident investigation, because this is an opportunity for us to prevent accident. So I don't want to use the word accident, because accident means already cause harm or injury to the other person at work or to the workers. But I'm using this incident so that you understand, and you will prevent accident from any incident. What makes incident and accident different is that both similar, both conditions are unintentional event, but accident cause damage or injury. It already perhaps cause life and life loss. But incident still okay, because it doesn't cause damage or doesn't cause injury. So I use this word incident investigation at work, so that any incident at work you consider, you need to investigate thoroughly, because this is a golden opportunity for you to prevent accident. Why I choose this case other than the death toll that already accumulated throughout the years in Mount Rinjani, but we should think about these people, this mountain guide, and also the hikers. So in occupational health perspective, we should protect the workers and also the other person at work. In this case, the mountain guide are the workers. The mountain guide are the workers, because they gain incentive, or they gain reward, or they gain a salary from this activity. And of course, they have such talent, and also they are very competent person to do this job. Only people who have a soul and also have such motivation that can do this job. Because to guide, and also they're not just guide, they need to protect their hikers also, whoever the tourists that they brought into this mountain to do hiking activities or mountaineering in this area. They should protect their safety also, as well as their safety. And the unique of this mountain guide, the workplace is very dynamic. In comparison to, let's say, office worker. So office worker, the work environment there is very constant in nature. But for this mountain guide, their workplace is very dynamic, because they're susceptible to variable weathers, and they're susceptible to challenges among hikers, because hikers come from different countries, from different background, from different culture, so they need to face such challenges during their work. And also the trail condition at the mountain Rinjani is so challenges, and it depends on the situation, whether they have clear visibility, or whether the trail loose or slippery, or whether the trails influenced by the surrounding weather at that time. And each time for them, whenever they go up to the mountain, each time they face new hazard. So compared to office worker, the hazard is constant, but for them, their daily job face different hazards from the people, from the surrounding environment, and also and other factors surrounding it. So I think this topic quite sexy for us to learn on how are we going to investigate incident investigation at work. Okay, so I'm using this Swiss cheese model to illustrate how these different layers they're interacting with each other that lead to incident and accident. And these different layers, we call it as active failures. That is the doers who may do unsafe act, or perhaps the latent layers. These latent layers, be it organization in origin, supervision, or condition, and when these layers coincided momentarily, the incident and accident happen. So this is Swiss model introduced by James Reason, a British psychologist, to illustrate not just the human errors, this is the human errors most of the time, not just the human errors, but we need to think about the latent layers that may lead to incident or accident. How these layers interacting with each other that cause incident or accident. So this Swiss model, yes, there are other models that we can explain how accident or incident happen. But to me, Swiss model have its own X factor that guide us to understand how the system as a whole can fail. Because in occupational health, for any safety control measures, we need two redundant factors to ensure the workplace or the person at work or the other person at work safe. We need only two redundant control measures. So if these at least two redundant control measures fail, so sure the incident or accident can happen. So for this Swiss model, it suggests that there are other more than two layers that we need to consider. So if any incident or accident happens, so all these layers fail already. And this is very important for us to do risk assessment, for example, safety risk assessment. Then we can consider control measures for each layers. So at least for each layers, we have two redundant control measures to prevent incident or accident happen in future. Okay. These are the information, not facts. This is the information that I gain from social media, from news online, that we can hypothesize, we can use this information to hypothesize the incident causation. For this case, Juliana Marin's slip or fall from the trail into steep ravine. So we want to prevent this in any hikers that hike to the mountain Rinjani. We need to think about this to prevent the hikers from slip or fall, not just the hikers, but also the mountain guide that you call it pemandu wisata and also wisata, right? So pemandu wisata is mountain guide and wisata the hikers. So if we can prevent this from happening, then we can prevent death. Of course, death as Muslim, death is something definite, but we don't want them to die in Mount Rinjani. Of course, the time and place we cannot determine, but in occupational health practice, perhaps we need to think that perhaps they die during sleeping in Mount Rinjani rather than slip and fall and experience blunt trauma that can cause death. Yeah, that's something that yeah, I do not know whether this is an acceptable thinking process or not. But my aim today is to make you understand what can be done to prevent slip or fall from the trail into steep ravine. And of course, via postmortem, they said that the Juliana Marines died of internal injury due to blunt trauma, and that one as the consequences of slip and fall from the trail into steep ravine. So, yeah, today topic is about to prevent this from happening. You can see that there are many hypothesized causation how this can happen. So I will explain to you one by one, slice by slices, layers by layers after this. Okay, if we can see here, let's say for the unsafe act, most of the time the unsafe act is done by the doers or by the victims or by perhaps in this case by Juliana Marins. So for the unsafe acts, there are two determinants, that is error or violation. And those error and violation, actually, we label this one is under intended actions, intended action. For example, like perhaps misjudge. We rule out this Juliana Marins having acute mountain sickness that caused her loss of consciousness. Perhaps we consider this factor first. She's well, and she has no acute mountain sickness, but she misjudged the condition. She misjudged the Mount Rinjani. Perhaps she already hiked to other mountains before in Southeast Asia, for example. And then she misjudged, but she forgot that every mountain have their own story. Every mountain has its own challenges. So never underestimate any mountain, even though we already the person already hiked so many mountains before, but never misjudge that particular mountain. Doing that make us having these misjudged perceptions. Perhaps we should consider decision making. Perhaps Juliana Marins having this wrong decision because based on the videos, she was assigned to a safe place with ada yang small pokok renek kecil pendek. But the place that she falls far away from that trees, from small trees, perhaps she's move around without guidance that makes her fall or slip into steep ravine. Or perhaps she act inappropriately. I don't know. Perhaps she's the influencer, or that busy with her phone or camera, or perhaps she make a poor decision to move around without guidance. Yes, this is hypothesized only, but it's help you to cognitively process what are the possible factors that the errors may happen. This is very important skill for occupational health practitioner, especially if you are called to assist to assist the Mountain Guide Association, for example, to give input as academician why such thing happen, and perhaps we can hypothesize or we can propose the prevention plan. So we can use this thinking process systematically to point out what are the possible costs that may happen on the day. Okay, how about the other? Perhaps Juliana Marins failed to adhere to command by the mountain guide. Let's say the mountain guide say, okay, stay here and I come back for you to summit Mount Rinjani, for example. But perhaps she's not listened to the mountain guide instruction, for example, because of whatever reason, because of her desire to do her things in her own ways, or perhaps she experienced attentional failure. Attentional failure meaning because of perhaps she's having this acute mountain sickness that make her judgment inappropriate for such condition. And another thing, the hypothesized causation is perhaps she failed to prepare for her physical fitness that makes her susceptible for acute mountain sickness. That makes her cardiovascular endurance not last longer, or perhaps the meal plan before hiking and during hiking is not suitable, or not enough carbohydrate intake that cause her fatigue for example, that cause her unable to think comprehensively during the event. So these are the things. Perhaps error because of she's newbie to Mount Rinjani, and because of that, she's having altitude acclimatization, meaning she failed to achieve altitude acclimatization. Whether she have a resting adequacy, because based on the other hikers' experience in Mount Rinjani, they need to go up from the Semalun Gate around 1 a.m. in the morning to reach summit during the early days rather than middays. And because of that, she may experience acute mountain sickness, for example, then cause her to misjudge Rinjani's condition and also fail to adhere mountain guide instruction. We call it as attention failures. That makes her most away from the initial assigned resting spot. And also perhaps the error, if she's not having acute mountain sickness, she overestimate her own abilities to move around. And this is the other thing that I discussed just now. Okay, how about the other thing? How about the other layers? We can consider this condition under the team's condition. There are two substandard condition and also substandard practice. So what happened at this time? Perhaps as I mentioned earlier, she behaved as such because she has a physiological incapacitation or impairment during the hiking because of acute mountain sickness. Perhaps she's experienced such a condition. Another thing is perhaps she experienced physical fatigue due to improper meal or improper carbohydrate intake or improper calculation of energy intake and also energy expenditure. Because of her underlying adverse physiology caused her to have this incompatible intelligence or aptitude, and lead to loss of situational awareness, and also perhaps she's not ready to submit on the day because of fatigue or tired. And maybe she's a Brazilian and perhaps she misunderstood certain condition, misunderstood certain statement or certain sentences from the mountain guide to stay there or to move to summit whenever she's ready. Because Brazil accent may different from Indonesian accent, for example. So perhaps these two person experience fail to communicate or to coordinate. And we can see here that Mount Rinjani, the peak is about 3726 meters. And whoever reached there, the saturation of oxygen is around 82 to 83%. Bear in mind, this illustration is for the person who already acclimatized 1 or 2 days. If we understand further the Juliana Marin's condition, she ascended less than 24 hours, less than 24 hours from the Simbalun, around 1,200 meters, around that. And we can see that the elevation gain for within less than 24 hours is about 1,500 meters. And most of the time you observe the acute mountain sickness at this elevation that is 2,500 meters. So most of the time, some people may experience acute mountain sickness lesser than 2,500 meters. Yes, that can happen. So if we understand the Juliana Marin's condition on the day, she gained elevation more than she fell around Cemara Tunggal, something like that, the location. The elevation is more than 500 meters. Whenever the elevation more than 500 meters, in some textbooks said that it become critical whenever the elevation more than 3,000 meters, then we should consider elevation 5,500 meters per day. But to some people, perhaps the vulnerable person, due to not enough resting, or perhaps too excited, or they think they fit enough, they walk very fast, perhaps due to the tempo of the hiking, they need to go fast, they need to ascend very fast. So their body cannot adjust accordingly to the thin oxygen at higher elevation. So these factors can affect the Juliana Marins. I understand that every hikers to Mount Rinjani, they underwent a medical checkup before going up, but I cannot derive what kind of medical checkup they did. But perhaps those medical checkup able to detect underlying condition that may cause a person vulnerable to acute mountain sickness. But bear in mind, sometimes acute mountain sickness can happen even in a very fit individual. Being fit does not protect you from having acute mountain sickness. Most of the time, in my experience, I guide 40 persons to Everest Base Camp. 5 out of 40 experience acute mountain sickness, and 5 of them is less than 30 years old, and they are very fit. They experience in compressed hiking, and they are very athletic person, but they experience acute mountain sickness. Okay, bear in mind that can happen. So I assume that on the day the event happened, she's at the cratering. She's about 2,867 meters on the day, and of course it's already gained about more than 1,000 meters. Yes, more than 1,000 meters in a day. Okay. So based on that, we can deduce that perhaps the condition that Juliana Marins experienced on the day, she had this adverse physiology, acute mountain sickness, that caused her to lose situational awareness about Rinjani's condition, or perhaps she just experienced fatigue that may cause her to have this incompatible intelligence or aptitude due to exhaustion. Fatigue we can divide into cognitive fatigue, physical fatigue, or physical, cognitive, and emotional fatigue. So these fatigues is very dangerous, and perhaps appropriate food can overcome cognitive fatigue or physical fatigue. But emotional fatigue is another story, because to be a mental resilient person, it depends on the way a person brought up, and also a person have been sensitized to factors. They become resilient to that hazards in question, or that condition in question. So these fatigue issues is another issue that we need to discuss later. And we already know that natural conditions of these Rinjani trails are very steep, and they have this loose, slippery volcano sand. A person said to me that every 10 steps forward, they always falling down backwards 8 steps. So every time it's like that because the slippery volcanic sand. And also the weather in the mountain is dynamic. It can be windy, it can be fog, it can be the visible distance is not that great, and also the person experience a thinner oxygen. And this condition we cannot change because this is the natural condition. Nothing we can do with this kind of condition because this is naturally occur. And that's why we need to consider the person, especially the hikers and also the mountain guide. the mountain guide already perhaps sensitized to the environment because that is their workplace. They face such challenges. They already built up some mental resilience. They already know their body on how to face to such condition during their working time. And perhaps these mountain guide have no issues at all. But the hikers problem because they come from various part of the world, and most of the time they just come to Lombok and perhaps having a nice party before that or 2 days before that, and they perhaps take alcohol, and this one can cloud their judgment. And alcohol intake can influence, can make a person vulnerable to acute mountain sickness. So I don't want to label range genitals as a substandard condition. No. This is natural condition that's made by God, and it's already there. But we need to modify the person's, meaning the hikers' condition, so that the hiking become a safe journey. It is not a death threat for that person. Okay. So next we move on to the supervision layers. These are perhaps the checklist that we should consider whether this person, the most of the time the supervision by the mountain guide fail to identify at risk and at risk hikers. Dalam kes ni, in high risk hikers are not worker. At risk hikers. Does the mountain guide able to identify that the person having acute mountain sickness, for example? And because the acute mountain sickness symptom varies from having headache or to subtle consciousness or perceptions. I saw a video that has been shared by hikers, and he pointed that he having this cognitive dissociation at the end of the content of the video. Whenever he show a content, there is a kind of disassociation thinking process at the end of the video. Whenever he observed such video, he said that at that time perhaps he already disassociation cognitive process because of acute mountain sickness as such. And that subtle changes, perhaps the initial statement he's okay, but towards the end he himself noticed that he's having acute mountain sickness at that time. And whether the mountain guide able to identify these subtle changes at Juliana Marines, that is a bit questionable. Because whenever he able to identify, I am sure he will not left Juliana Marines alone. Perhaps he can instruct the other hikers on the day to stay or regroup with Juliana Marines and summit together. What happened on the day is that the hiking group is 6+1, meaning 6 hikers plus 1 mountain guide. This is based on newspaper report lah. Of course, we need to investigate to find facts if we have an opportunity. But based on report, multiple report, same reports stating that from the multiple sources stating that same statement, 6 hikers and 1 mountain guide. This improper staffing ratio, mountain guide and also hikers, perhaps due to there is norms, or perhaps due to that has been practiced since years ago, due to many reasons. But based on standard, the ratio hikers and also the ratio between the mountain guide and hikers perhaps 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. It depends on the hiker's profile. It depends on the hiker's profile. If this group have 6 hikers, perhaps the mountain guide should consider 2 mountain guides rather than 1. In that case, if any hikers fell sick at the crater area, perhaps 1 mountain guide can accompany the hikers, and another mountain guide can focus on the healthy hikers to go to summit. And what happened is that on the day is that these Juliana Marines experienced fatigue, and perhaps she requested rest, but this mountain guide left her alone on the way to summit, and he bring another 5 to summit to Mount Rinjani, a few hundred meters away from the location, from the last location of Juliana Marines. Being a loner hikers is a very dangerous in such dangerous condition, in such dangerous trails. This is another issues that we need to find out. And perhaps there is a rules or regulation in regards to ratio mountain guide and hikers, in regards to standard of operating procedures during hiking. Maybe there's a fail to enforce rules and stated regulation lah. Okay, next, whenever the mountain guide fail to identify person at risk, they fail to provide oversight for the hikers. They cannot think the sequelae, what can happen to the hikers whenever he or she left alone. And because of that, I developed this proportionate ratio, cause Juliana Marines become a loner, left behind on the trail at Cemara Tunggal, and also the mountain guide failed to identify at-risk hikers. Last one, so when we look at the organization, so there's an issue about safety programs among for the hiking activity at Mount Rinjani. Then we consider perhaps because it's already norms and it is acceptable rules among mountain guide or even among hikers to them. Okay, I am fit enough, I can accept the risk. So that's why I go to the mountain for recreational activities. So both mountain guide and hikers accept the norm, so that's okay, no problem at all. And also perhaps training for the both for the hikers and also for the mountain guide. For the hikers, for the mountain guide, whether they have adequate training, how regular their training is, whether they able to identify the underlying acute mountain sickness that the hikers may have. Most of the time, perhaps they understand for safety hazard and they know how to control it, but to identify the health effect, the health consequences at high altitude, perhaps they have a minimal knowledge or ability to identify because they are not doctors, kan? Most of the time, they can identify very severe the end spectrum of mountain illness, but not the subtle changes, perhaps. So this is another issues that as academia we can focus on, we can enhance on the knowledge and skill to identify the hikers at risk. And this is something that we need to consider. Same also goes to the hikers, whether they have enough training to go to Mount Rinjani. One of the advertisement in regards to Mount Rinjani, the required fitness level is that a person able to jog or walk or run 10 kilometers within less than 60 minutes. So that is the requirement. So they already advertise such a physical fitness requirement for the hikers to go to the Rinjani. Meaning they already say the responsibility to the hikers. This is something that you can do to ensure that you are physically fit before going up to Mount Rinjani. You need to do this. If you cannot achieve this, you cannot walk or jog or run for 10 kilometers within 60 minutes, you are not fit enough to go to Mount Rinjani. But how many hikers will do that? They able to recognize their ability to do that, because sometimes these hikers go to Mount Rinjani because of relative or friends' influence. Yeah, we can go just take a slow walk, go up there, and you already have some experience in mountain in Peninsular Malaysia, for example, and Mount Rinjani is another level, and I think that is a moderate level for you, and you can do it. Even some advertisements said that Mount Rinjani is moderate up to a very challenging mountain. It depends on a person. If the hikers know their own safety rules and they have these own control measures, without 100% depends on the mountain guide. The mountain guide just an additional factors for them to guide them which path that is safe, to provide the knowledge from to gain the knowledge from the mountain guide to ensure that they're safe enough, so they're able to follow the hikers, the mountain guide instruction, and they follow every little step from the mountain guide. So that is not an issue. But how about the hikers who cannot follow others' instruction to ensure that they are safe, their journey is safe? So that's another issue on how the mountain guides can tackle in regards to handle personality variables among hikers. And to do that, to understand that, perhaps mountain guides can do risk management, risk manage in regards to plan the tempo, the hiking tempo, the schedule. If we can say that whenever they start ascent at 2 a.m. in the morning, for example, so the hikers need to get up at 1 a.m. in the morning. And bear in mind, this time, a very early time in the morning, is not suitable for the human being. They don't have enough or adequate resting time or sleep quality. And perhaps this is another additional factors that cause hikers easily get fatigued. But perhaps it's already norms in Mount Rinjani. I can see that some there's a trip, 2 days, 1 night trip, or perhaps 4 days, 2 night trip, something like that. And of course, longer trip, the high cost, the cost is going up, but it depends on the hiker's assessment, hiker's risk assessment, whether they choose short package or longer duration of package that may cost higher than a usual amount. So I understand that most of the time hikers may choose shorter package, which is 2 days, 1 night. And I guarantee that this kind of package, it depends on the hiker's readiness to do such hiking activity. And if it is not ready physically, emotionally, and cognitively, it causes a danger to the hikers. Operational tempo, as I mentioned earlier, and also time pressure. Okay. And perhaps we need to consider the communication. Different language accent may cause different understanding for both parties. So I come up for this information, hiking schedule and speed, and also communication barrier, perhaps whether certain practice considered norms, and we accept the rules, and we accept the rules because that is the acceptable risk that we calculated already. And I am not sure whether a clear instruction to rest alone or submit when ready, because there is a report from newspaper saying that the mountain guide expect the hikers going up because he waited Juliana to come. Whenever he said that, oh, Juliana still not reached to the summit, so he go down and track back the Juliana, and she's gone. So I do not know whether mountain guide hopes the hiker to summit by herself in that condition. So this is something that we can consider. So at the end of the day, these are the hypothesized causation of the incident: slip or fall from the trail into steep ravine. So and with this kind of information, you can develop an interview questionnaire for the affected mountain guide, for the involved mountain guide to verify. So because this is hypothesized only, but this one can guide you to develop interview questions to the mountain guide to guide you what kind of standard of operating procedures, what are the norms to make you understand how this thing happened. So we do not only focus on the doers, on the victims, but we need to consider these three layers. There is latent condition because it's already there. Perhaps, for example, if the ratio of the mountain guide and also the hikers is only one mountain guide is needed for a number of hikers, considering norms, that's it. Perhaps we need to change or not to change. It depends on the mountain guide ability or the mountain guide agreement whether to accept such norms or not, because more mountain guide meaning more cost to the hikers, and perhaps makes them not popular because hikers may say that it's too expensive. But looking at this incident, we can say that whether we can accept certain costs equivalent to slip or fall, or we need certain costs guarantees safety. So this is an issue that worth to discuss. So based on this information, we can verify whenever we can based on the technical report example. So we can tick, oh, this already covered, this already covered. So this method, this Swiss model will guide you on systematic thinking to understand how the incident happened. So I am sure whenever you have this kind of list, straight away you can plan what's going on, what's wrong, what should be done, and who should do this, and what to do this at what time, and in what condition, for example. So that's it. I think that's all about it. So any questions so far?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Rose, for the comprehensive and eye-opening presentation. That the case of Juliana Marins at Mount Rinjani is still a hot issue and has become an international issue that draws attention to the importance of incident investigation. Okay. Now, to deepen our understanding and make the session more interactive, we will move on to the Q&A session. To all participants who are joining this guest lecture, you can ask the questions directly by raising your hand or type the question in the chat box. Okay. Looks like there is Ahmad Farid raising his hand. Please.
Yeah.
You can turn on your camera, or do you want to type the question on the chat box, please? The time is yours, Mr. Ahmad Farid. Okay. Can you unmute? Okay.
Okay, thanks. I am Ahmad Farid from Doctoral Program of Public Health at Diponegoro University.
I can
Okay.
hear your voice.
Okay. You hear my voice?
Yes. Can you proceed with the questions?
Okay, thank you, Doctor. I am Ahmad Farid from Doctoral Program of Public Health Diponegoro University. Any question for Chase model? There's information about unsafe action and about condition and supervision and the last any organization. And about unsafe action, how can we reduce error made by novice climbers on Mount Rinjani regarding altitude acclimatization and adequate rest? And about condition, how can we improve climbers regarding the condition on Mount Rinjani? And then about supervision and organization, how can we ensure a proportional ratio between height weights or MT and climbers to prevent climbers from being left alone? And the last, how can we overcome communication barrier between climber and MTS? Thank you.
Sorry, Ahmad Farid, your voice is not constant. The intensity
Okay.
low and up. Can you simplify your question? First, I can understand what the unsafe act due to?
Okay. About unsafe action, how can we reduce errors made by novice climbers on Mount Rinjani regarding altitude acclimatization and adequate rest?
Okay, let me answer that first. How we can assure, correct? How can we assure that unsafe act due to inadequate acclimatization and inadequate rest? Is it correct?
Okay.
Is it correct, Ahmad Farid?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, how can we ensure? So this is something very subjective. If we can ask the mountain guide, because we cannot ask Juliana Marins anymore, she's died. But we can ask the mountain guide whether he noticed, is there any changes? Is there any behavioral changes, even subtle changes that happen on the day before she was left alone at the crater area? So that is something that perhaps gives us an insight. Perhaps she experienced mountain sickness, and perhaps we can interview any mountain guide, perhaps the mountain guide that available on the crater area. If the mountain guide, the existing mountain guide knows, perhaps he has buddies, same buddies, mountain guide, whether they notice this person having changes, behavior changes on the day. So that is something that we need to consider, and we cannot rule out unless this person having a smartwatch that measure saturation of oxygen. So if it's lesser than norms, acceptable, because we know that at the mountain level, the saturation of oxygen may reduce according to the altitude. But in good person who already acclimatized, most of the time the saturation of oxygen constant as similar as sea level. But we can determine that based on the smartwatch record, if any. During hiking, anything more than 2,500 meters We always assume any changes, even subtle changes due to acute mountain sickness, acute due to high altitude illness, until proven otherwise. So we can do such diagnosis leisurely because we do not know, and we cannot determine that condition happened during postmortem. There don't such objective evidence, but we can safely assume any incident happened at more than 2,500 meters, even subtle changes that is due to high altitude illnesses. And inadequate resting is very easy if we can track on the record when the Juliana Marines arrive at Lombok, when Juliana Marine arrive at Semalun entry point, for example. What kind of activity that she did during hiking activity or during arrival at Lombok. We know that Western countries, most of the time, alcohol is something like normal beverage compared to us. So we know that this kind of person, if they practice such beverage intake, so this person may have susceptible to get acute mountain sickness. For inadequate resting, the mountain guide need to assure them to assure their hikers to have a good resting for at least 7 hours, even though they have planned. For example, they plan to go up to at 2 a.m. in the morning, so they need to record what time this person arrive at Semalun entry point, for example, or camping around that entry point at what time, and they go to sleep at what time. So they need to calculate this. Based on literature, is stating that anything quality any duration, sleep duration less than 5 to 7 hours, it depends on the person habit, may cause cognitive incompetency. So I can't remember the exact amount of sleep duration. So they said that certain amount of sleep inadequacy cause how much pain of alcohol, for example. So they have this equivalent literature review. You can search about this thing, and you will understand that this person may have this cognitive impairment, plus the acute the high altitude elevation that cause thin oxygen that may further impair the cognitive process of the hikers. Okay, is that answer your question, Ahmad Farid?
Okay, is there any feedback from Mr. Ahmad Farid?
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, I want next second question from you just now. What is that?
Okay, right.
Second question?
Okay, second question about condition, Doctor.
About condition.
How can we improve climbers' situational awareness regarding the condition on Mount Rinjani?
Okay. In my practice, most of the time I give talk. I warn them. I scare them with information, with facts. So some hiking organizer doesn't like my style, but I need to indoctrinate in their mind. Whenever you go to hiking, you expose yourself to danger. So most of the time, my talk is about acute mountain sickness at such condition, and what you can do, and how you yourself recognize that you have this acute mountain sickness, for example, or any high altitude illnesses. So I do this regularly for a group of hikers that going to mountain that higher than 3,000 meters. And most of the time, the event organizer doesn't like me because, ya, kita nak pergi suka-suka, kenapa nak takut-takutkan kami? Macam itulah kan, dia cakap macam tu. So, tak. You need to understand, because you need to internalize this information before you going up, so that you can safeguard your own safety at that time, because nobody know you better than yourself. Unless kalau lah dalam group tu, in that group you have a close friend, for example, your team who recognize you whether you are normal and not normal. meaning you normal at that time, or you experience change of behavior at that time. But you need such person that close to you, very close, that he or she can observe your behavior. Then he can decide, yes, you have this acute mountain sickness. Otherwise, no. So for this kind of Juliana Marins, she is a loner, right? She's a loner traveling alone from Southeast Asia. From before us arriving to Lombok, she went somewhere in other countries in Southeast Asia. So we can understand that the dynamic of the team in that 6 person in that hiking group, it is not close enough. They perhaps didn't know each other until they met each other at Semalun area, for example. So only the hikers can identify themselves about her condition, and the mountain guide, if he observed closely about the hiking condition, about the hiker's condition. If he missed this, so he cannot recognize. Yeah, it's easily missed because he didn't know Juliana Marins before the hiking activity. So perhaps he didn't know whenever there's a subtle changes of the behavior that Juliana Marins demonstrate during the day, during the hiking activity. Is that answer your question, Ahmad Farid?
Okay, doctor. So clear, your answer.
Yes. The question number 3. Is there any question number 3?
Okay, doctor. About supervision, how can we ensure a proportional ratio between mountain guides or MG and climbers to prevent climbers from being left alone?
Okay. This is highly related to the organization factors in regards to proportion mountain guide and hikers. If I already look at some advertisement in regards to that, and also I already view some standard operating procedure from Mont Blanc Mountain. Mont Blanc, they state certain rules and regulation whereby one hikers may need one mountain guide if the hikers not familiar with the surroundings. So again, it depends on the risk calculation by the hikers. So whether he or she want to go in a group or by special arrangement. Special arrangement like this, for example, he or she need a mountain guide 1-to-1 ratio rather than hiking in group. Because hiking in group, let's say only one mountain guide, they cannot oversee all the 6 person in that group, cannot. Because they are variable personalities, right? In that hiking group, variable personalities, variable social and culture, variable dynamic at that time. So in that case, perhaps the control measures we need to reconsider or to enhance the rules and regulation in regards to the proportion of mountain guide and hikers. Let's say in this Juliana Marins group, there are 6 hikers, and there were 6 hikers. So perhaps the ratio is at least 2 to 6. 2 to 6. Meaning minimum 2 to 6, meaning minimum 2 mountain guide and 6 hikers. So that the worst case scenario, if one hikers having this fatigue or having some illnesses or need some resting time, a long duration resting time. So there is one mountain guide that can stay with the hikers, and the other mountain guide continue to hiking to summit for the mountain rejourney. So that is a good practice. Otherwise, this thing may recur and recur again in future. Is that answering your question, Ahmad Farid?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rose.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question, Doctor.
Yes.
About organization, how can we overcome communication barriers between climbers and MGS?
Itulah. Mountain guide need to establish that during introduction session, for example, they need to malingering around with the hikers to understand their dialect, to understand their accent, so that they know how to communicate with the hikers. The worst case scenario is to draw to draw cartoon or to draw symbol that you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, to ensure that whatever the instruction they can follow accurately. This is something this is something that the mountain guide need to be considered whenever they handle a group of hikers. Bear in mind, whenever we say something, even we Malaysian and Indonesian have different terms. We have similar words but different meaning. So let it be to the other English language non-native to mountain guide, for example. Perhaps we say we pronounce certain words correctly. We think it's correct, but for the for the Brazilian, it's something it's different meaning, has different meaning. So I always consider that illustrate a cartoon, illustrate whatever something that that we think that they can easily understand is very helpful. Is that answering your question, Ahmad Farid?
Okay, enough. Thank you, Dr. Rose. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Is there any question, moderator, online?
Yeah, looks like there are two questions in the chat box, Dr. Rose. Is it okay if I read it?
Yes.
Okay, there is a question from Alif Shahputra. He's our undergraduate student in Occupational Safety and Health program. Okay, the question is, many mountain guides come from local communities near the mountains. How can community-based programs help empower and protect them in terms of safety and health?
Yes. One good point, whenever the mountain guide from the local community who live nearby the mountain, they understand very well about the mountain trail and condition. They can predict whether today is the safe day for hiking or not. So they have this very good knowledge in regard to the mountain condition. But we can enhance their ability in terms of training. Training meaning, let's say every 2 years, they need to renew this knowledge, their knowledge in regards to basically on how to identify. Most of the time, the hiking, the mountain guide, well versed with the safety and how to control, on how to plan control measures for the safety issues, but not health. So let's say if you can provide a module for this community-based activity module, and also in terms of training every 2 years, so that they have always refreshing their knowledge, and they can spread this information to their hiking members, to the mountain guide members, and they remind each other. They can use this knowledge on how to plan for their hiking activity. And bear in mind, sometimes they forgot to incorporate the meal plan for the hikers. And bear in mind, these hikers come from different part of the world. Perhaps their eating pattern, the dietary menu is different from Indonesian population. And bear in mind, they love to try Indonesian food, but perhaps they may have loss of appetite, or because of just of adrenaline rush is so high, they don't want to eat as many as they used to. So these are something that the mountain guide should consider. Let's say they provide also meal. not just energy bar, something like that, because hikers always use their energy bar, right? But this something that mountain guide can guide the hikers on what to bring. What is what diet can help them on the hiking journey, during the hiking journey and before the hiking journey. Based on my experience, most of the time I have this carbohydrate indulgence 24 hours before hiking. Because we want to use this carbohydrate storage during the hiking activity, because the hiking activity may take about 10 hours to finish, to and fro. So that's why we have this eating fiesta 24 hours before hiking. And I do not know whether this is a case in Mount Rinjani, before they going up to Mount Rinjani, whether this is the case. Yes, I am sure not everybody can digest Indonesian food, but perhaps we can prepare similar to their taste bud for this hikers taste bud, something that common is very interesting. Something that this is Indonesian menu, but we tailor to their taste bud common. Let's say, I do not know, bread, pizza, spaghetti, something like that, but Indonesian recipe, something like that. So this is something that we need to train the mountain guide. One is about the medical illnesses in high altitude, because sometimes they forgot perhaps, and perhaps they do not know how to detect the subtle changes of the hikers, and also about the meal plan. And perhaps we need to teach them about the schedule. What is the proper schedule for the hiking activity? Is there any challenges whenever they arrive up there late? Is there necessary to go up at 2 a.m. in the morning? Perhaps we can delay the going up for perhaps at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, but we need to protect the hikers. We need to advise the hikers to protect themselves against suns whenever there is a midday sun. So never mind, it's okay, rather than we go up early in the morning with not enough resting. Does that answer your question, Alif Shah Putra?
Okay, looks like
Okay, is
there
there
is no
any-
feedback from Alif.
Yeah.
Yeah, such an insightful tips. Actually, there are many of our students who like to go hiking, Doctor.
Yeah.
They call them as pecinta alam, Yeah, and I hope that our students take a note for that insightful tips from Dr. Rose, so they can go hiking safely. Okay.
Okay. My
Okay,
advice to
I'll
them.
say that clear.
My advice to them, to the students who want to hike, be a safe person first. Be a safe person first, meaning you need to prepare physically, mentally, and also the meal during hiking. Be the safe person first, then you will have a safe journey to go out. I'm sure it's very rewarding activity for you.
Thank you so much for the advice. Okay, I think we have one more question from
Yes.
Andi Muhammad. Okay. After an incident investigation is completed, what should be done to ensure that the lessons learned are integrated into future safety practices and policies?
After an investigation done, all the causation of the incident or accident should be distributed to the mountain guide. Perhaps via lecture or via newsletters, because we know that mountain guide, this is the only source, perhaps the local community, there's a good source for them to gain income. But the information research should be distributed to make them understand on how are they going to adopt more safe practice whenever they bring the hikers up to the mountain. yeah, accident can happen every time, but at least we prepare. At least we can learn from previous, and we can do modifications, some practices. Whenever these hikers sleep, yeah, the consequences is die. I noticed that perhaps another thing that I didn't put in this slide, because this is the sequelae whenever they fall, whenever the hikers fall or slip into the steep ravine, the search and rescue activity. This is something that I need to share the information because somebody shared it to me. Our search and rescue team here shared to me, said that perhaps nearby to the mountain Rinjani, they put an equipment for search and rescue, for early search and rescue, so that they don't have to go down. At least the Malim Gunung up there, the mountain guide able to do something, let's say throwing a rope, the longest rope that they have, they think they can reach to the hikers, so that they can pull something like that. Or perhaps there is a equipment for search and rescue, like whatever lah, the welching, the equipment, the bar for the to make anchor to ensure that we can roping the victim if it is practicable, in that condition. So this is something that I hope it is not I hope this sharing today, it is not considered as bad. This is something that we need to consider. Accident happen even in Malaysia, even in mountain in Peninsular Malaysia. For the past few days, we have new cases that is undergoing investigation, and I am expected to be one of the committee member for the postmortem meeting to investigate this. And we hope we can learn something out of this incident. Please don't make this event recur again. So this is a hope, so that we can do better. Kita boleh jadi baik daripada semalam. So hari ini lebih baik, esok lebih baik daripada hari ini kan. So this is something that we should consider.
Sure. Okay, is there any questions? Any more questions from the audience? We still have sometimes, maybe about 20 minutes, right, doctor?
Yeah. Which
Okay, please.
mountain that the
If there are any more
student is
questions,
going
you
to?
can raise your hand.
Which mountain that the student is going to?
Usually a mountain in Java, in Java, Merbabu maybe, and then Ungaran. I don't know. I don't really know the name of mountain, but usually the most well-known mountain is Merbabu, and then Rinjani also.
What is the elevation? Is it more than 2,500 meters or lesser than that?
I think I should search in Google to answer the question.
Yeah. So any mountain
Maybe,
lesser than 2,500 meters, most of the time is low risk mountain, but still you need to consider the safety issues, because each mountain have their own challenges. The student need to study the trails. The student need to prepare their own meal. At least in their backpack, they have their own water, and they have their own meal for one day. If they get lost in forest or in mountain trail, so they can use their own meal preparedness, meal prepared. And they need to segregate. This is individual meal, and also they have their group meal. They need to study and make sure no injury. Whenever one hikers get injured during the journey, So it will influence the whole dynamic of that group. So it may increase the risk of having incident or accident.
Okay. Okay, there is Mrs. Ekawati who kindly answer the elevation of Mount Merbabu. It's about 3,145 meters.
Serious?
Yes.
So that's already high enough and need to prepare physically, mentally, and emotionally lah. Huh? And itulah, each hikers need to be a safe person first. Prepare physically at least 6 weeks before going up, to ensure your cardiovascular endurance and muscle fitness. Your limb have no injury. Let's say there's no knee joint pain, no joint pain anywhere else. You need to have medical kits for own supply. So you need to have this knowledge on how to make a stretcher using branch and t-shirt, or minimum using kain batik or kain sarung. So that just prepare mentally and skill to develop such thing, because that is the survival skill that you need whenever you go up there. But I hope this activity accompanied by adults, matured person, so that whenever event occur, so this person calmly can handle the situation. Whenever I went to Everest Base Camp, I have 2 guides with me. 2 guides with me and 1 Sherpa. So this Sherpa bring my bag, and 2 guides, one person at the front and 1 person at the back. So this person play multiple roles. For example, being a joker. So mereka buat joke kalau tengok muka I macam stress je, stress emotion. So mereka akan buat joke untuk pastikan I gelak. So they keep asking, are you hungry, doctor? Do you want to eat something? Are you thirsty? So you want a drink? Something like that. So you want hot drink? So you can put up a dapur, semua dapur macam tu dia akan masakkan untuk I, macam tu lah. So this is very important for a long journey lah. Especially Everest Base Camp, it take 9 days to go up, but only 3 days to go down. So the 9 days journey under cold weather is very cold weather and long journey. Take about up to 8 hours walking in a day for 9 days. Plus, whenever I try to eat Nepalese food, it cannot align with my taste bud. But luckily, I bring small packet like sambal, sambal Belanda, sambal ikan bilis dari Malaysia.
Nasi lemak.
Itulah, so that to balance with the Nepalese diet. By the end of the 10 days of hiking, I cannot eat anymore. I only eat fruits. Because I cannot take Nepalese food anymore. So it become boring food already for me. So, but I think this 3,000 meters is just a short term journey. But you need to prepare. Let's say you want to go up around 5 days, perhaps 5 days, is it enough? I don't know. 5 days, let's say you take your own leisure time, 5 days or 3 days to go up, and then to go down, prepare the meal for 5 days. Should be extra. Let's say try a 3 days journey, prepare for 5 days journey, for the meal especially, and water. You need to consider, is there any water sources during the journey, whether the drinking water is easily accessible from river or not. If it is not, you need to consider bottled water. If the water accessible from the river, you need to have this kind of filter. Filters, straw act like a filter, so that dia jimat masa daripada masak lah. So you can filter out the water directly from the river and go into your bottle for drinking. Okay. Is there any questions from the participant?
Maybe the question is from me, Miss Dr. Rose.
Yes.
May I know the highest mountain you already took or hike for hiking?
Last year I went to Everest Base Camp. There is 5,600, 5,640, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
5460 terbalik. 5460 kot kan. So that is the highest location, Everest Base Camp.
Okay. And maybe you can share some tips. Do you do some routine exercise to prepare yourself before doing the hiking?
Yes. I myself doing exercise at that time. That is before 2 months before going. Because we have these challenges, Hari Raya, so everybody eat anything. So 2 months before going, I start discipline to do exercise daily. At least I can jog at that time, pace 6 or 7. According to my age lah, for 6 to 7 is already hard enough for me to go. Meaning pace 6 or 7, 1 kilometer I can take about 7 minutes for 1 kilometer. So younger age, 5 minutes, perhaps 5 minutes for 1 kilometer. So that one of the fastest lah. For me, pace 6 or 7 is enough lah. And then we have this group exercise regularly. We do hiking to the small mountain in Peninsula Malaysia. We do tree hiking, and we also go up stairs climbing in tall building in Kuala Lumpur. So we did that to ensure that we up to the challenges. Not for me only, but for the hiking group. For the hiking group, each hikers that going to join the Everest Base Camp, every day they need to submit a report. Using their smartwatch data, showing that how many kilometers that they run or jog or walk on the day, the pace, what is the pace, and what is their heart rate. Because I know that based on the heart rate, we can determine whether this person really exercise or not. So, and based on the heart rate, I can determine whether they exercise using their aerobic phase or not. Most of the time, I instructed them to do the exercise within their aerobic phase. So the aerobic phase we can calculate based on the maximum heart rate. Maximum heart rate minus maximum heart rate, that is 220 minus the age. So we get the maximum heart rate. So they need to exercise 70 to 80% of their maximum heart rate. So that is aerobic heart rate they need to achieve. So every day they need to submit report. So minimum is 3 times per week they exercise, but I target most of the time 5 times a week. So there are 2 days they perhaps do muscle strengthening exercise, and 1 day is off day from other activities. So from there we know that their physical is up to the challenge lah. But as I shared earlier, 5 of them, which is very young age, because they don't listen to my instruction, they run on the track during the Everest Base Camp trail. So they have this headache because they said that I am faster, so they feel wasted if they don't use their young energy. So dia lari atas gunung tu, I jerit dia, you nak dapat aku minta senang. Lepas tu memang dapat lah. Sebab dia pergi ke higher level, dia dapat. Dia jalan laju. Whenever they walk very fast, they walk faster than their breathe in, breathe out. So they will get acute mountain sickness during submitting Everest Base Camp at that time. But it is not.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I hope me, myself, and also our students can follow the routine like yours, so we can have the physical fitness.
Yes.
And also, yeah, get a health body like Dr. Ross already told before, have healthy body and fitness. Okay, maybe this is the last question
Yes.
for Dr. Rose. This is from Ibu Ida Wahyuni from Department of Occupational Safety and Health. Dr. Rose, can you share, were there any accidents at workplaces or tourist attractions in Malaysia that were booming recently? And
Yes.
what improvements were made to anticipate the future incidents? Thank you.
Yes, it happened everywhere. Whenever we have mountain, we also have incident or accidents. Recently we had this accident. I call it accident. A hiker's died at Gunung Liang. Initially, this hikers having leg injury, and it seems he was left alone by the members group, including the mountain guide. This is the initial information that I gained. So the postmortem will be done in near time. But this person, before he's having this injury, it seems he went to compress hiking. In Malaysia, this is emerging recreational activities. Meaning they do compress hiking, they summit more than one mountain in a shorter period of time. So this is a kind of in thing nowadays. So some of them do compress hiking, meaning shorter than the norms. So meaning usually that mountain can be submitted within 5 days, but they do in shorter period of time, let's say 3 days. So this is so-called compress hiking nowadays. And this person, whenever they hike, they don't walk, they run. They run up and down. So can you imagine, most of the time injury can happen during descending. So most of the time they have this injury. Whenever they have this injury in such mountain area, which is full of flora and fauna, there is a difficulty to go for them to go down safely. And we cannot rescue them using helicopter because of accessibility and because of the initiation to form a team. It takes time. Whenever, let's say, we need to go down, perhaps it takes about 10 hours to go down. If you can imagine, search and rescue team need to go out to go up perhaps more than that. So the initiation to do the search and rescue and to provide medical aid, it is not as simple as it is, because this is remote area. This is not easily accessible. It happened. So we always do this and post-mortem, and we share the findings still, because the human behavior is very difficult to control. To change their behavior to be a safe behavior, it takes time. It may takes about 5 to 15 years or even one generation to change the behavior. So yeah, it's happened, but we hope once it's happened, just not pointing fingers to mountain guides. It does not. There's no pointing fingers to hikers, because both of them, there is social interaction that they accept the risk. That's why they engage with such activities. But it seems recently there is a court case stating that the family member lodged a complaint till to the High Court in regards to her husband died during a hiking journey because of heart attack during the hiking activity. So hakim mengatakan begini, since this is voluntary recreational activity, so nobody forced the hikers to go there. And this hiking activity, because of reunion among the husband's friend, so there's no involuntary activities too. Maksudnya this is voluntary activity. So everybody accept the risk. So there is no crime happen during that journey. So yeah, legally there is no issues, but along the journey, whenever they do this recreational activity, accident or incident happen. And as I said, we try to do this, we try to develop a program whereby we train mountain guide. Even we can identify, we can assess the competency of the mountain guide. We have such a complete module to ensure that the mountain guide are trained accordingly. But still happen because every mountain have their own story, every mountain have their own challenges, and every hikers have their own variabilities that sometimes we cannot we cannot think enough what should be done to make things better. But I hope in future we can only minimize the incident or accident. As academician, we only can talk and monitor, but the real event happening at the ground level and the dynamicity of the social interaction between the hikers and the mountain guide and also the environment happens. And the hazard is dynamic as it is. So difficult to change lah.
I agree with you, Doctor. Okay, there is a feedback from Ibu Ida. It's indeed difficult to control the diverse human behavior, which is sometimes strange and danger.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, there is one additional question in the chat box. Is it acceptable, Doctor?
Yes, you can. No problem.
Okay, from Audis, okay, the student of occupational safety and health. What is your view on the decision of a hiker who arrived at the base camp at 0 and at 0 AM and begin the hiking at 3 AM without enough rest? And to what extent can the result? Thank you.
Again, I cannot get you because your voice lost.
Oh, sorry. Looks like there is a trouble in the internet connection. Should I repeat
Yes.
the question, Doctor?
Yes.
Okay. What is
cannot
your
see
view on the decision of a hiker? Sorry.
I cannot see the chat.
Oh, cannot see the chat. Sorry. Okay, I will read it once again.
Okay.
What is your view on the decision of a hiker who arrived at the base camp at 00 AM and begin the hiking at 3 AM without enough rest? And to what extent can the resulting sleep deprivation affect safety and health during the hiking?
Okay. I assume that this question meant for the Everest hikers and Everest hiker, summit Everest, right? So whenever they reach to Everest base camp at 12 AM, 12 midnight, 00 AM is 12 midnight, right? And then they do hiking at 3 AM, 3 hours later. I understand that hikers to summit Everest at 8,000 meters, they are pushed by the adrenaline, they are pushed by desire, they are pushed by the motivation to flag their self as a representative for a country. And it's okay actually because whenever they reach Everest base camp at midnight and they go up 3 hours later, but they go up, it depends on what kind of objective. Sometimes they just do acclimatization hiking, meaning they go up and down, go back to Everest base camp again before they going up to Everest base base camp 1, 2, 3, and 4, because there are another 4 base camp above Everest Base Camp. Everest Base Camp just the base at the Everest mountain area. But there are another 4 camps that they should hike before they submit the Everest summit. If they want to do acclimatization hiking, there's no problem because yeah, they have this kind of sleep deprivation, but that they always can replace, ganti lah, can ganti. But this one cannot be done regularly. Most of the time, this kind of hikers already professional and they know their body's ability and they playing around with their physiological adaptation at that time. So as long as the hikers know best about their bodies, their own abilities, the risk is lower compared to those hikers that they don't understand, they just take sembrono activity saja buat apa tu membahayakan diri sendiri, so there will be a higher risk. So I cannot give my point of view in regards to this kind of person because it may wrong, and I hope this kind of hikers understand their physiology and how their body can adapt and how they can do their own control measures to ensure to balance again their physiological reaction on whatever the decision they made. Let's say they want to hike after 3 hours, whenever they reach, but at that time they already have this kind of adaptation already. I assume that hikers only want to do acclimatization hiking, meaning they go up for, let's say, a few hundred meters and then they go down back to the Everest Base Camp. Acclimatization hiking is not an issue. And I understand that they need to do that because snowy area at that time may become more dangerous to the hikers whenever sunlight reflected to the snow area, they can cause blindness and also heat. So they tend to do hiking at night time because at that night time the snow more hard, more stable compared to daytime. So that is why. So hopefully by daytime they replace their sleep lah, to ensure that they have enough rest at that time.
Thank you, Doctor. Your explanation answered the question perfectly.
Okay.
Okay, I think the question and answer session is over. And now let me to summarize for today's session that firstly, Dr. Rose began the session by sharing a real incident involving Juliana Marins at Mount Rinjani, which became an international issue. This example was chosen to help. I hope it can help students to better relate to how incident investigation works in the real life situations. And Dr. Rose also explained, she highlighted that on the mountain there are mountain guides, or usually in Indonesia we call it as a porter, doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, porter. And we know that the porter are considered as an informal workers, right? And she emphasized that occupational safety and health among the Sherpa or porter often receives limited attention. And even though their work involves the significant risk, there is not much attention for their safety and health. And furthermore, Dr. Rose also introduced the Swiss cheese model, where each slice of Swiss cheese represents a layer of defense, and the holes symbolize the weaknesses or failures in that layer. And when the holes align, like the unsafe egg, unsafe an incident can occur. So overall, for today's session, I hope it helped us understand that incidents rarely happen because of a single cause. Instead, they result from multiple factors aligning at the same time, just as described in the Swiss cheese model. Well, once again, we would like to express our sincere appreciation to Dr. Rosnah Ismail for sharing her expertise and valuable insight with us today. Maybe would you like to deliver a closing statement, Dr. Rose? Please.
Okay, to dear students and to dear participants, I hope we learn together. We learn something from this case. Um, if you want to hike, be a safe hikers first to ensure that you will have a safe journey. Good luck in your journey. You can ask me any question that you want. Hopefully, you can have my email address to ask your question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, to end this session, the committee would like to present a certificate of appreciation for Dr. Rose.
Okay.
Okay, please. Okay, sorry. The certificate should be the one that already signed by the dean. Maybe the committee has wrongly choose the file, but I'd like to send it directly to you,
Yeah,
the
thank you.
official one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you. Okay, to end the session, I'd like to say thanks for all participants and also our students of occupational safety and health. All of you got the full information. Describe the safety and also health point of view for before we go to hike. And we know that actually in the mountain there are some dangers from the nature and also from the behavior of the person itself. Okay, thank you for your attention, and I'd like to return the session to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to Associate Professor Dr. Rosna Ismail for your insightful presentation on incident investigation at work. And Ibu Chita for leading us, for leading our discussion today. Next, we will have the virtual presentation of certificate to the moderator, Ibu Chita, to the operator.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you again in the next guest lecture, our dear students.
Thank you, Ibu Chita.
See you, Dr. Rose.
Goodbye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, the certificate presentation is complete. Before all participants leave, please take a moment to fill out attendance link via QR code displayed on the screen or via link in the chat. All right, we've finally reached the end of our event. Once again, we express our gratitude to Ibu Cita Fitria, Putri MKM as the moderator and Associate Professor Dr. Rosna Ismail, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, as a speaker for their willingness to participate in this guest lecture. We also thank all participants who have attended. I'm Giovanni Ladonia Sitohang as the Master of Ceremony. Wish you very well. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Wish you have a